Mayor, your microphone.
I will make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We'll move to second. Any more discussion? Let's vote on it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Let's get right into the department reports. Public Works, Mike, you're up. Closest microphone's right there.
Might have mine.
That's the mic. Any questions?
I wanted to ask, yes, I did. I wanted to ask that question about the water main, because I wanted to ask where exactly was that? Maybe I was in a bumblehead, but I couldn't exactly figure out. Is it going up the hill there?
So which one are we
The
talking
one
about?
that,
The one that needs replaced out of the forest?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes from well number one and it's actually parallel to the highway, which is below the old highway.
Okay.
But it runs down through the forest
Okay,
and we have to get that, we have to work on getting that out of there
okay,
and getting it up on the old highway. So what it does is it loops down from well number one to Riverbrook. And that's where it reconnects to our system down there.
okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, that's leaking because it's broken or old or whatever.
well, and we had a big leak in it, but we fixed it.
It's
So,
exposed, right?
There's no way to ensure that it won't break because it's going down through all the trees. It's exposed in one part, like out in the open. So, I mean, that's just not good. It's a thin wall cast iron pipe that can break at any time. If a branch falls on it or something like that, like in a windstorm or,
Right,
So-
I'm just trying to get some specifics because there is funding out there for replacing buried pipelines.
okay. So, yeah, that needs to be replaced. I think we talked about that about 8 months ago when I brought it to council.
Yeah, that's part of the infrastructure plan.
And when Emily and I were speaking with the representative for Congresswoman Marie Perez, that's one of her hot buttons is water sewer. So she actually would like to come get a tour.
I'll be glad to show her the
So,
one, yeah.
yeah. That's why I wanted to lay eyes on it, so I
Absolutely.
could get a feel for what it is we're talking
Yeah,
about.
just right behind Bordy's place right there. You can see where the water shop comes down across. You can almost see it from the road. If you just want to take a few steps down off the road right there, you should be able to see where it's like exposed.
Isn't that a white pipe, sort of?
No, it's black. It's
Black.
thin wall cast iron.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we get a quote from Grant Osborne, Mike,
I think it was in the water comp plan at one time. And in fact, I think it still is. It's like about $1 million to get it up and
Yeah.
to get it replaced.
So who's gonna facilitate that? Are you, Eric, or should Mike be reaching out or what?
She'd like to come to Toledo to do a meet and greet anyway. So I think it's gonna be made part of it. It would most likely involve Mike giving I think she wants to walk down and take a look,
I have
so.
CC'd Mike, Eric, the clerk, let's see, the superintendent and tree farm and a couple other people who are interested in meeting her. It's very, very new to this, yes, so. Don't know when that's happening exactly, so.
Okay, so my question is, who's gonna facilitate meeting with Marie to get her on board?
We're not quite there
Probably-
yet. We just,
Probably Rachel, I would imagine.
yeah,
Okay,
and so. Do you have status for the plant and things, how things going?
Yeah, everything's normal. Everything's working good. Getting ready to haul off solids. I think that was in my report.
last week, or last 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions for Mike? Thanks, Mike. Dwayne, you're up.
How's everybody doing? So first of all, my disclaimer about not having the police car. at the farmer's market is we had a situation at the bank that we had to take care of. And when it deterred that situation, I will tell you that it was successful. So that's why I posted it, and 10 minutes later went out and removed it. So, does anybody have any questions for me at all? No? Nothing?
What happened at the bank?
Can't tell you.
But
I can tell you, I can tell you is that we got the bad guy for 2 counts of significant fraud. So, and the Lewis County Sheriff's Department assisted us on that, and a detective was there with me, he did a great job, so.
let's see, I saw you in the Chronicle.
Yeah, in the Chronicle,
Yep,
wasn't supposed to be there, but yep.
yep, well, you gotta go when you gotta go.
So that was in relation to a incident at North Fifth. Stemming from an assault. And that turned into a IED device. It was located, transported to DOC since it originated in Toledo. I went out there to obviously talk to the people and get some information, and then they took pictures, so. I was there, I called the sheriff and let him know that I had no comment, except that public safety was not in jeopardy at all, because it's his jurisdiction, not mine. And he was fine with that, so there's no problems with that. Cool,
Cool.
awesome. And I am pleased to announce that we do have a candidate for the lateral police officer position. This is Al Medina. And she is from the Gorge. She is a graduate of the Basic Law Enforcement Academy down in Oregon. She has told me that she is committed to the position here in Toledo, which makes me very happy. Because having another person on board is something key. We do have another applicant right behind her. So she will start the background process. She will start the polygraph and psychological. And we're looking forward to bringing her on board. So I'll let her introduce herself to you, and if you have any questions, you can talk to her directly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Almadina. I come from the Dalles, the city of the Dalles. And I actually just drove down here for a ride along, but wanted to introduce me to you guys. So hi. I was with Intertribal PD for almost 3 years, and I currently work at a domestic violence agency, a nonprofit organization in the Dalles as a legal advocate. So I help people get protection orders and utilize community resources and provide emergency supplies and things like that. Have a passion for criminal justice, looking to just get back to what I love doing.
How big is the Dallas population wise?
I'm not exactly sure. It's a small town.
Bigger than.
Toledo.
Bigger than Toledo, but
A little windier too.
I guess it's like Hood River.
Yeah.
I moved to the Dalles just about 3 years ago, then moved 16,000 Carson. Yeah, that sounds about right.
16,000?
That's a lot bigger.
Oh, it's quite a bit bigger than us.
I'm from Portland, so I just say small town.
What made you want to get in law enforcement?
My aunt is in law enforcement, my uncle is in law enforcement, just started going on ride-alongs in high school and knew that was what I wanted to do.
She has a passion for human trafficking issues, that type of thing, so. In this community, she should fit right in.
So this might be for you rather than her, because I don't know. Would your training include reciprocity to Washington State, or is she gonna have to have additional through the training center?
Yeah, so more than likely, she'll have to go up and take what's called the 2-week basic law enforcement academy class. It's 2 weeks, it's really easy. Once she passes that, then she's fully certified as a Washington State police officer. And basically, it's 5 days there, come home for 2 days, 5 more days, take a test on Friday, and you're done. It's a refresher is what it is.
It's only recognized Oregon.
Yep.
Academy.
Any other questions?
And that's Eric, Rebecca, Kathy, Steve, Anthony, Jim.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too.
And Steve is the mayor, the one in the middle.
In the middle,
With
okay.
the hammer.
Yeah, what's got the hammer in his hand? Thank you.
Thank you.
Rachel,
Oh,
you're up,
so we
up.
have got all the billing issues fixed. The people that were being charged sewer. We did have some other issues pop up this month where the move-ins and move-outs for the month of. March and April were not being fully followed through, so we've had a couple issues like that pop up, but we're able to fix them, so billing's back on track, it's on time. Hopefully we won't have any more problems moving forward. There's also a conference coming up for the AWC for budgets. I was able to get free registration. And I think it's also on the agenda to get approved for the room. I'm gonna share a room with Angie up at Mossy Rock. And we'll carpool out there. And then also we started using a new program called Trello, which is a platform that kind of helps you stay organized. It has different boards. So we have a city council board where we're able to keep track of unfinished business, new business. We can all see it, we can all work off of it. So like perfect example is the Winlock court case that we have. And any emails that come in, I can upload them directly to that. Any documents we get, I can upload them directly to that. So it's all in one place. Once we're finished with that, we will move it over to the archives, but it'll always be there and it's a free program. So a lot of our unfinished business that like when I first started was kind of falling between the cracks, it's all there. And so we can see it right when we open our board. And then Kira and I are able to kind of assign each other tasks. If I get an email and I need her to do something, I can create a card and say, hey, Kira, I need you to get me, you know, this information. Once she gets it, she can upload it to the board. I get an email and everything's just very centralized. So it's really helped us get organized. So I think that's all I got for today.
And has that program been checked out by our cybersecurity?
I can have them check it out. It's not something that we had them check out yet. I've used it before. I can run it by them.
Yeah, being it's free and
Yeah, it is a
we'll
paid,
have sensitive information.
yeah, it is a paid subscription. I know because where you have so little people on it that we are able to use it for free. And I've used it in the past. I've actually used it at my last job, so.
But a lot of large software companies use it,
Yes,
so it's actually a pretty significant product.
it is. Yeah, it's a larger product. Any questions?
Thanks, Rach. Council reports, Emily.
Amazingly enough.
Nothing?
Actually, that's incorrect. I signed myself up for a,
The grant writing.
yeah, the grant writing, and is it this? I have signed myself up for a grant writing class. I believe it's the 18th of next month. Correct. And then I also signed myself up for the budget. But I'm self-pay and I think I'm driving myself because I'm bringing my family. So, just because I want to know more about small town budgets.
The municipal budgeting course was the one I did last year. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and I really want to know more about that, especially going forward. So, I'm gonna go check it out. And then on the 20th, I'm gonna go to the National Leadership Conference. That's being held at the Museum of Glass. So it's free for elected members of Toledo. So I'm gonna use that and I'm gonna go. The end.
Okay. Eric?
So that's good. So last week, yeah, I think we already talked about this. Emily and I did meet with a representative for Congresswoman Perez. And there's some things gonna come out of that, like a meet and greet. She wants to come see Toledo. She's hoping to make our big meeting next year, but she wants to meet before that. We definitely talked, or at least I talked a lot about we need money. So hopefully she can help, and they offered to sign up to give us letters of recommendation for any grants we get.
So is she Olympia?
No, she's the representative she's in Vancouver or, yeah, for that.
Yeah.
She's federal, yeah. Yes, right. Yes, right.
I need to talk to you.
Okay.
We can package something together.
Yeah.
And I went through our spending to date. And then had a meeting with Rachel. It looks like we have, a lot of that is left over. There's some problems in there and things that I see are getting corrected, and mostly it's what goes where and adjustments and learning how complicated it is, and maybe it shouldn't be quite so complicated. There's definitely things that are well over budget, and there's things that are well under budget. So I don't know how the whole thing will pencil out, but it doesn't look too bad right now. Getting our pass-through money into its own area so that it's not
Right.
slamming our budget with these really big numbers is a big thing. And then also getting our grant funding similarly moved into its own area so that it can have that come in and go out. It looks really weird on the budget when you budget nothing and then it shows you spent $16,000, but it was a grant. So we're going to figure that out. I did find a couple areas in Mike's budget that look like they want to pay for a mower. So might need to go through your budget and see where, I might not have to take quite so much out of your truck fund, or you might want to consider reusing that for. It's getting a little late, I guess, but that would have been for summer help. One more item and I don't know what it was. So that's it.
All right, Rebecca,
Just trying to catch up.
trying to catch up.
Got the iPad up and running and absorbing information.
And my suggestion, get a faster bicycle. Get it 10 speed. Okay, Kathy,
I have nothing to report.
okay, Jamie,
Well, we had our 5-year plan workshop on the 11th. And the people that were here were very productive and provided some good information for us. It was supposed to be for all of us, plus all the department heads, and no one showed up, no one. And if you're head of a department, then you should be here. That's your responsibility to be here. And it's the mayor's purview to see that the department heads are here, but as department heads, you're supposed to be responsible. And you weren't here. And I wasn't happy about it because if you want funding for projects that might affect your department, you need to be here and you need to provide us information so that we can look for funding. And that's my soapbox.
I agree with that, and it's not just at that meeting, it's in general. It's really hard to help department heads when they won't engage with you at all.
Yes, I agree. And so I'm proceeding with Emily got some information put together on the parks and a grant, and I'm proceeding with that. And is anybody here from Lions Club? It's going to require a presentation. And so I have different ideas, and one of them I thought would be you have those cheese days workbooks or and so what I want to do is use a couple of those images in the presentation, and I need to run it by the Lions Club and get permission. That I downloaded them, so I'm guessing they're public domain. But as a courtesy, I still wanted to extend the invitation to let me know if that's okay if I use those in the presentation. Part of getting a grant is selling the need for it or the appeal for it. And since Cheese Days is a community event, selling the community is part of selling the need for the grant. So that's some of my ideas. Other ideas, I'm going to go down and take pictures of the park and the areas that we're looking to improve and put those in the presentation. I'll be reaching out to different people for what's on the list of park needs so that we can figure out how to present it or figure out how to actually make that happen. What contracting people do we need to see, that type of thing. So,
I guess I should have also said on mine that I did go to the park board meeting as well, and we could easily spend $100,000 on things. like
right,
that, easily.
right, yeah.
I think we listed off $1 million for this stuff.
Okay, moving on, committee reports, please, you got anything else, chief, you got anything else to add?
Just what's on my report that I submitted, if anybody has any questions. I don't see.
We didn't see that.
We have no reports. I did submit it on Friday.
We get,
Zero reports.
we got no reports, and
Hey,
that's something that I've requested in the past, and Dwayne has been very good, but I would like to see a written report from you.
I'm not the clerk anymore as of tonight, so he's coming from Garrett.
Get on it,
Okay,
Karen.
I would do better.
Get on it, you need to do better.
then we'll-
that's all I want on the record.
then there will be a report from them, and I see nothing from Mike either.
You have it, Mr. Mayor?
I got it here someplace.
Maybe you can just read it out loud and that way people can hear it, and then I can answer any questions, or I can read it, it's up to you.
But if you just want to summarize it.
Huh?
You want to summarize it? Your report, or is the mayor? You're gonna-
It's not very long.
That'd be different than normal. I appreciate the verboseness. I
gotta tell you, the week after
If you need to-
Tuesdays, it's
if-
like everything was suppressed during Tuesdays, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it was nothing but chaos, every single day.
I just didn't want you to have to read 2 pages is what I did.
And I love your reports, by the way.
Yeah,
so
I do
not
like 'em.
Give him grief for.
No, I'm just
his
saying to read it out loud is a daunting thing to do.
You don't leave down.
We were actually-
Write another report.
And we were actually working during the 5-year goal plan.
Yes,
We
we already had
had
that.
facts by witnesses knock on the door here.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's not there?
I had it here someplace.
See, set me up.
Seriously, I had it in the folder. Here it is.
So we can get that posted on.
Here it is. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, the second page. So I kind of talked about it, we have 2 candidates for the lateral police officer position. Obviously, this is number 1. We provided security and law enforcement presence at the Toledo Cheese Days to include the parade on Saturday. We continue to provide a law enforcement presence at the weekly farmers market posting, except when doing stings.
Yeah.
We received an additional letter from the Western States Information Network, also known as WISN, and we're accepted back into that organization now, which is really important. Information wise, it's very important, human trafficking. We conducted numerous traffic stops and have issued probably 8 or 9 citations for speeding. We are in a conversation via email with Katrina Johnson regarding possible Blake refunds, possible assistance for public defense costs. I'll follow up on that this week, probably tomorrow. And then the big case, the 21 Henry 250, we're still waiting for the final determination by the Lewis County prosecutor. And that's for the Toledo Middle School. And the following incidents took place the first part of July: 2nd degree assault, simple assault, brandishing a weapon, explosive device, violence, violation of restraining order, citizens complaint, sidewalk issue, which has all been resolved, and animal complaints 4. So we've been pretty busy. Any questions? Nope.
Thank you, chief.
Yep.
there's nobody here from the park board that I see out here. Emily,
Yeah,
you're from the park board?
yes.
What do you got for the park board?
You were at the last meeting I was at.
But you were supposed to report on it.
Oh, let's see, we. That's right, sorry.
I'm not on the park board.
We talked about, things that, we could use for the grant money, and things like making the stage more, friendly for wheelchairs, well, not wheelchairs, but not the stage, oh my gosh,
Accessible.
yeah, accessible.
Safety and accessibility.
Safety and accessibility for the structure, for the picnic area. Safety and accessibility for the playground, safety and accessibility for the stage. Gravel in and around the structure in the picnic area. We talked about upgrading the spray park so that it is no longer a coin operated system, that it will be a switch, a turn switch, or but whatever kind of buttons switch it is, it will no longer be money.
It's just a timed button.
It's a timed button, and that we will maintain that water usage by having the walk in the park, so that money will be paid for it by walk in the park. We talked about
The reason for that is basically the coin op is costing more to maintain than it earns.
exactly. We talked about potentially boat launch, bathroom rehab. And making a plan to put into our main plan tree trimming, so that it's always in the plan, not a afterthought. And also 5-year plan to finish Steamboat Alley as well. So that is what the things that we talked about for the park.
So the boat launch thing might have to be separate in reading through.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was all part of the park. That we talked about, so.
So is it just for one park or your main park, or because that is that whole thing is a pocket park because
Well, we are part of the parks system, so it's the park board. Right, so we talk about parks items.
But we're addressing Ken Olson Park.
Okay.
Right, so I sent
Yeah.
you a thing that was about Ken Wilson.
Great.
Right,
Right,
right. And that's why
Yeah,
I
so
pointed
things in
that
there-
out though, because,
things in here in this list aren't necessarily all about what I'm
Right.
saying,
right.
correct? And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Planning Commission, Stephen.
Last planning commission meeting was actually relatively short. We had two main issues that we dealt with. One that was instigated by ourselves and the other that was asked for by council. The one that was instigated by ourselves was a request that the council move forward in correcting the local code with regards to driveway slope.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, the wording that came out when we finished our land use codes was that it mandated that driveways be at 12%. And what it should have said is that driveways shall be no more than 12%. Mandating 12% driveways on a flat land subdivision doesn't make much sense. So Todd Johnson's indicated that had to come through council as a code change. The second one, which was initiated by council, and we spent some time discussing, was the subject of Airbnbs. I think there is one in the city that we have presently. There are 3, I think, in South Lewis County that are reasonably close to us. And we did a lot of discussing on the how to process, how to get the process done. And we came to the realization that we really didn't have to do a whole lot. What we really needed to do was to have council pass an ordinance with regards to Airbnbs that required that they be licensed by the city and registered with the city. The council would need to come up with an occupancy tax that we don't have presently to be attached to any said rentals. As well as sales tax, which would go on to the regular rental. And whether there was going to be a term limit with regard to how many consecutive days someone could rent a property. I asked Dan to be here because Dan is the sole proprietor in the city of Toledo as an Airbnb host. And we looked at a lot of the things online that people had said might be issues in allowing Airbnbs, and I would say 95% of those issues really dealt with major cities, big cities that were trying to take care of affordable housing, and they were concerned about neighborhood portrayal, et cetera, in a transient society. Well, in a town like ours where we have absolutely no place to spend the night other than camping in the park, that doesn't seem to be a real problem for us. It was how do we go about allowing people to use their property or to transform their property in such a way that they can make some money, but it's regulated so that we have control over it, that it is taxed, so there is revenue from it. And most of the outside issues are already covered by ordinances that we already have, whether they be noise. We would want the council to dictate there has to be an additional parking spot for the renter of the place, but I think that was our recommendation. Does that sound about the way it was? Yep. And yes, ma'am.
A question, Airbnb, is that a generic term for also the BBRO?
Yes.
Yeah, it really has become a generic term for
Short-term
VRBO and
Short-term rental.
yes.
So by using Airbnb, that's not excluding other types of
No,
short-term
it is
rental.
not.
So those people are also gonna come spend money in town.
Yes.
Well, you know, Carol was mentioning on the way here, if somebody wants to come look at Toledo, wants to spend a week here to, you know, go through the town and meet, you know, go through the businesses and where do they stay? They stay in Chehalis because there's no place to stay here. And we could afford someone the opportunity to stay in our community and sort of vibe with our community while they're here, as opposed to going in and out of the town all the time. I think it would be a benefit to the city. I think we all agree with that. And the city, you know, the city's long held belief in property rights. I don't see us stepping on someone who is trying to earn some extra income, as long as they do it the correct way. So that's our recommendation to council.
Any other questions? Any questions for Stephen? Thank you.
Okay.
Any more follow-up on the water sewer streets, Mike?
Just getting ready to start the alley. I'll be hauling rock this week, and next week I should have the machine rented. And I'll be working up there trying to get that fixed.
And any progress on the inflow? I guess that's not really streets, but it kind of is on the INI. Because I did find that in the budget. You have a line item with money to spend.
Yeah, but how much is it?
It's a couple grand. Was it a couple grand or was it?
Yeah, to get it cambered and everything like we're gonna need to start with, it's gonna be probably a little more than that. So
Okay.
I'm waiting to hear back from the company that does that. I've already reached out to them, so. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, public hearing, got nothing, special presentation, nothing, public comment on agenda items. Is there anybody signed up for that?
Yes.
There's two times to talk, what, at the beginning on our agenda items and at the end on any topic.
And typically, no longer you want to sign up, there's a mistake change.
Oh, is there?
People do not need to sign up.
They don't need to sign up?
Yeah, Earl Cooper.
So Earl, if you want to talk on one of our
Yeah.
agenda items, then.
No, he's got a problem.
Okay,
That's a
then,
different.
great, then that would be at the end.
You'll have to wait.
Alright.
Sorry. Yes, Tim.
Yeah, so one thing I'd like to go and thank Mike and Public Works for putting all the signs in, it worked out really well. He and I had a brief conversation today, and the public is slowly learning about the speed signs, so. They're starting to try to mind this point there.
Chief,
Camp's been a little busy, so we're doing pretty.
how about if we set chief down there and radar the 5-mile-an-hour people?
I'm pretty sure the chief's got.
Yeah,
Your dollar ticket,
I
what?
mean, it might be a false call on a rabbit or something.
But there's, but the good thing, my point is, chief, there's lots of shade down there where you can move strategically around the park.
We started, I was texting with Mike today and actually started the Mason garbage truck, because Zoom through there all the time, and they're actually now making a conscious effort. They're actually trying to stay on that 5 mile.
Well, don't count on that being
I know,
continued.
they're good though.
Because once they get used to seeing it, they seem to increase their speed.
Yeah.
Okay, new business.
Food for thought, could we put our parks people on the list for providing a brief update at meetings? Like he just did?
You want that in writing?
No,
Would you like a report, or would you like just a verbal, because there's.
I just like to hear updates like you just gave.
Oh, Tim sounds like a good candidate to do that.
Nice.
It's a done deal. Rick agrees it's a done deal.
Yeah,
See, Tim, I'm very good at delegating.
you are.
You're welcome to.
So second meeting of the month then, yeah? I'll give you an update what's going on.
Okay,
That works. You got out of the first one already, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but I also want to thank those that helped out with cheese days. Well, I tell you what, I couldn't have done it without some of the help of the Lions Club as well as our public citizens that help keep the park clean while we were there. They kept garbages off the ground. The only things we really had to deal with.
Rach,
Minor stuff.
could we send them a thank you note for helping us throughout the cheese day event?
Oh, the Lions Club.
Public Works,
Yeah.
Mike, we want to be official, so we'll put it on black and white.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, moving on. Rachel, appointment to city treasurer, motion to approve the oath of office.
I make a motion that we approve Rachel to the city of treasurer for the city of Toledo.
I'll second that.
Then Rachel needs to come up here.
Rachel, this is your right.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to vote.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There better not be anybody opposed. All those opposed? Nay. Raise your right hand. Repeat your name or say my name. I, Steve Dovash,
I, Rachel Beaver,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I am a citizen
or affirm that I am a citizen
of the United States,
of the United States,
the state of Washington,
the state of
and
Washington,
the city of Toledo,
and the city of Toledo,
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States,
and laws of the United States
the city of Toledo,
for the city of Toledo,
and will to the best of my judgment,
and will do to the best of my judgment,
skill and ability,
skill and ability,
truly, faithfully,
truly and faithfully,
diligently and impartially,
diligently and impartially,
perform the duties of the position
perform the duties of the position
of city treasurer
of city treasurer
for the city of Toledo,
for the city of Toledo,
Lewis County, Washington,
Lewis County, Washington,
as such duties are prescribed by law.
as such duties are prescribed by law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Next, I need an approval for
I a motion to
Tyler?
approve Kira Mitchell appointment to city clerk.
I will second that motion.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Kira? Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Steve Dovash,
I, Kara Mitchell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I am a citizen
or affirm that I am a citizen
of the United States,
of the United States,
the state of Washington,
the state of
and
Washington,
the city of Toledo,
and the city of Toledo,
that I will support the Constitution and laws
that I will support the Constitution and laws
of the United States,
of the United States,
of the city of Toledo,
of the city of Toledo,
and will to the best of my judgment,
and will to the best of my judgment,
skill and ability,
skill and ability,
truly, faithfully,
truly, faithfully,
diligently, and impartially
diligently, and impartially
perform the duties of position
perform the duties of the position
of city clerk
of city clerk
for the city of Toledo,
for the city of Toledo,
Lewis County, Washington,
Lewis County, Washington,
as such duties are prescribed by law.
as such duties are prescribed by law,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mayor, on filling those two positions.
Pardon me?
Congratulations on filling those two positions.
Well, thank you. Moving on, number 3, repainting no bicycle, skateboarding, or business district sidewalks. Discussion and guidance for public works. I have the code ordinance from Paula. There's a city code ordinance 58, the city code 8-2-7 covers bicycles riding on sidewalks. I will put this on the oncoming council meeting agenda for discussion and possible actions. I have follow-up on it. I don't know if you guys got all this report.
It's all the blue.
You got all the blue? Okay. We usually paint that during cheese days, but it didn't happen this year. We had shorthanded,
Too much going on.
too much going on, try to catch up with all the rest of painting and cleaning the curbs. On the cleanup day, we had 5 people, so we did the best we can with what we had. Unfortunately, that did not get reprinted. It's been down at the park, also on that sidewalk. I've seen it stenciled. We have stencils. Mike, did you ever find the stencils?
No, John said they haven't done it in like 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Well, we had,
He didn't know where the stencil was or anything.
we had stencil one time, because I remember, I think Brian,
I did.
he's the one painted it.
No, 4 years ago, actually. 4 years. Yeah, no, I didn't make the stencil, I used it. Oh, you used it, also you still have it. No, I didn't take it home.
Anyway, we need to make another stencil of some sort and do the reprinting on there. There's, I could tell. Council want to comment on any of that?
Yeah.
Do we need to update our ordinance?
Yeah.
For skateboard and rollerblades if we're gonna do that?
It's all right
I mean,
here.
we can update it too, cause it's $3 per jail day served and $1. This is a 1902.
Version, yeah, I think maybe we should throw some teeth in there, maybe.
Well, and the other thing is those little scooter things,
Not that many things.
those need to be included in there, so that whole thing needs.
So we need to update the ordinance.
Well,
Probably.
chief, I guess you're not gonna be able to ride your motorcycle down either.
I always get off my bike.
So none of these penalties are really are sufficient, or what's my take on that, chief?
Putting somebody in.
Well, they got a $50 fine.
Walking down.
For conviction, or-
Bike on the sidewalk.
I don't know.
Excessive.
Well, in the ordinance,
But if you don't wanna pay the fine, you can
Maybe a
get
fine.
jail time for $3 a day.
How about community service?
one paragraph says $5, the next one, the penalty is $50. So
Conviction.
No more than,
One is the conviction in the act and.
Well,
You're.
not less than $1, no more than $5.
And convicted,
This is awesome.
to really scare the.
1920.
1928.
That one's
That's-
1902.
That's.
Yeah, in 1902.
Yeah, I think we probably should take a look at that and update it.
Energy lines?
Yeah.
It looks like
1902,
it's in the,
1928.
let's.
In the mean- in-
Up your alley.
I could.
Yeah, why don't you come back to us with this?
Okay.
Okay, let's quit and move on.
So we get it on a future.
We'll get on a future thing. For the meantime, Brian, if you can find a stencil. Brian, okay, Brian, can you make us a stencil, or Mike, can you make a stencil?
Sure, I don't know what it's supposed to say.
It said no bicycle skates.
He knows what it says, 'cause he painted it.
That's what it said. I don't know if you want to change it with your.
Well, that's what they were
It's-
just talking about.
yeah,
and
it's-
everything, so.
Jail time.
Brian, you sold it on eBay?
Yeah.
Sidewalk.
Ticket.
No one on a unicycle, Dave.
I'm painted on the corner of Ramsey and Augustus
This is bike/skate.
with it across the circle in the area.
is no bikes,
Oh.
no bike and skate.
Skating or,
Very simple.
then you have those other things they ride.
Skate works.
Scooter.
Scooter, skate.
We'll try to,
They ride.
we'll try to cover everything, all right? We'll try to cover it.
No wheel.
Well, no, it needs to be specific. No skates.
Okay, let's put
We're
this on.
we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on.
It's his jurisdiction, right
We'll,
there.
we'll take care of it. Okay, unfinished business, Winlock Court Services, letter from county informational/discussion. There's a whole bunch of paperwork.
So it looks like they've accepted our letter and they've said as of August 31st, we're good to go. And we actually got all 3 people, commissioners signed it.
Awesome.
Did you get
We got
any,
this from Buzzard, so he knows we're on the clock.
did you get anything from the county?
That
Yes,
is,
That is-
the county, yeah.
so I think the next steps will be for our clerk to talk to.
Because what I read in the letter from the county is asking us if we're sure of doing this.
Yeah,
Are
they
you
want
sure you want to do, are you sure you want to do this? Sure you want to do that? You sure you want to leave this, leave that?
Yeah,
Well, we said that Buzzard was our lawyer and I'm
he
assuming.
thinks
that-
we should do it, so I think
thinks
we
we
should
should
listen
do
to
it.
him.
So it's just them saying.
They're
"Are you
covering
sure
their
you
butts."
wanna do this, and Buzzard's like, yes, you wanna do this, we're gonna go to another court system because it makes the most sense for our citizens.
He's the one that advised us on the first.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Rachel, would you like to touch on the email from Marissa just briefly?
Yeah, so Marissa sent over an ordinance and that we need to look over that we will have to update for that. We need to get all of our policies over to them, which I believe you already sent to Buzzard, is that correct? So we need to get back with Marissa. Just to verify that those have actually already been turned in.
Well, I sent the 5 critical ones,
Okay, yes, we're gonna send.
liability wise, I can send the whole thing to them, but they haven't replied to me on the 5 that I sent.
Yeah, if you wanna send them to me and then I can upload them into Trello, that way we have them on file, but. It was a large email, it's something that we're actually gonna have to sit down and spend some time on, looking over it. So there's a couple steps that we need to take. I do believe Lewis County also sent over all our final billing. So that's all been taken care of, and we're gonna have to transfer some files over from them also, I believe. So it's gonna be a little bit of a process. But Buzzard's office will support us through it, so there's just a few things that we need to go over. So we'll have it all, for the next meeting. In time for everyone to review, because it's a large,
They need our code book too.
they do,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a lot of
Well,
information.
the manual's gonna be,
code ordinances and
the
policies,
police department manual, which is separate, is gonna be, it's an entire document.
and that as
itself,
well, yeah.
That you're gonna have to look at.
Well, it's all gonna be done. So it's gonna take.
Yeah,
part.
we have time, I mean, we
Already
just got the letter, so the clock is ticking out, but. We will have it on next.
It's good that we're going ahead, we're ahead of the game instead of behind the game.
Correct, yeah, and so we can actually look at the contract, I believe, next meeting, and vote on it too.
All right, thank you, everybody that's involved in that. I have no other unfinished business, other business, I have nothing.
wait,
We had,
wait.
oh, we missed
I have
item
some
4
other
on new business.
Wait, there's both of you talking at once. What do you, what's up, Emily?
Age before beauty.
Item 4 on new business.
Do you have new business?
No, there was an item 4 that we jumped over on new business.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Does he not have it on his?
I don't
Oh.
have number
I
three.
don't have a full.
I don't
I
have
don't
it.
have a 3.
Item 4 is not on,
I don't have it.
Serious item 4?
What's on item 4?
Sure.
it's the
What?
AWC budget conference in Leavenworth.
Oh, that was added last minute, so that's probably why it is.
I only have it number 3. yeah.
Oh,
Spending.
refresh your browser.
Spending approval.
Spending
Yeah,
approval?
I think it's $386 is half of the room for the AWC conference. And I also forgot to mention too in my report that once I've gone to this, I would like to set up a budget workshop, which I know is something that we've been wanting to do, but I definitely want to get the workshop over with, so I have a little bit more knowledge coming into the meeting, so.
Okay. In
thought
in
we
the
already
future, if you're requesting approval, I'd like to see something in writing so that we have documentation. of the request and the approval.
So that we know what you're asking for, I think, yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's for the room. Angie paid for it already. I can print out an email from Mossy Rock or whatever, but she took care of all the bookings.
I was looking at this today as well, because I intend to go to this budget conference and they have blocks of rooms, 2 blocks of rooms. And they're, I think. $275, $300 for 2 nights. So this is completely. I think it's,
Well, that wasn't the point. The point is it should be in writing. so
I
we have
completely agree, yes.
I'll make a motion.
We're all
that we-
learning.
I'll make a motion that we approve this spending thing.
I'll second it.
Moving second, any more discussion? Besides across the room? Okay, let's vote on it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I have nothing else.
Save the best for last.
And what did you,
Yeah, I want to talk about Airbnbs.
Okay. We're gonna have that on we push that to a future agenda item, or
Well, other business. This future, right?
do you have stuff to?
Well, we brought it up at the beginning and I would like to save what I was going to say for the end.
Okay.
Which was, as somebody who lives in a small town, I feel like Airbnbs turn a town into a place where people visit, but nobody actually lives. And the people who live in the small towns, it ends up being a ghost town. There have been several towns, including Packwood, who've been talking about having moratoriums on Airbnbs. I think it's worth having discussions about, especially in a town who has 650 people. To talk about protecting the long-term renters, not just the short-term renters, because the short-term renters don't pay as much utilities, they don't pay as much water. They don't bring that sense of community, in my opinion. So, that is why I think that I don't think that Airbnbs have a place in our town. Short-term rentals, long-term rentals, that's fine, that's one. Short-term rentals are another. I think that we could do well with a hotel. I think that's one thing. I do not think that Airbnbs belong here.
So, wait, but this is not, is this an agenda item now, or? Because-
Excuse me, point of order. Steve Birch,
Yes.
would you address this from the planning commission summation you did? The short-term rental
Well,
earlier this evening.
cities of much larger size have concerned themselves with the transient nature of Airbnbs and whether it affects the neighborhood. In fact, they found out there was no increase in crime. And the fear that neighborhoods would become tainted essentially by having short-term renters didn't really appear. There was a long study done that I just got in reading earlier today that seemed to preclude most of the concerns and yeah, I don't see this being a community of 650 people renting out their houses and leaving town. You know, we have one active Airbnb in town currently. I know there's been a request by a second person for information on what it would require to utilize an Airbnb from his own house. But I think there are things that the city council, when they put the ordinance together, could use, you know, things like requiring that the owner be present on site. Requiring require, or, you know, having a certain number of limited days that could be rented. Now, the owner's on the hook for utilities anyway, I mean, they're on the hook for the water and sewer and rest, that's what. The Airbnb rental doesn't affect that. I don't see Toledo being a ghost town, we're too underway into development of this town to have that happen. So that's, you know, that's the conclusion of the planning commission.
So upcoming will be an ordinance.
Well, that would be a city council issue.
Right. That we need to do, because we don't currently have anything, is that true?
Correct.
Right, we were.
When it's
asking
actually on the
to
agenda,
discuss
yes.
it. We pondered it and discussed it for a good hour, an hour and a half. And threw all the things out that we thought would be stumbling blocks, and we got around them. You know, we think it's your prerogative, whether you allow them or not, but we couldn't see anything stumbling block.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, in response to at least, oh,
Actually, can we give Jimmy a turn? Let me go ahead.
Counterpoint. Hood River, Oregon is a prime example. My sisters lived there for 50 years, raised her family there. They've got Airbnbs all over the place. It's a thriving town. It gets a lot of tourism, which brings in money. There's families there, there's parks there. Her husband was a coach at the
We
high
already in
school there.
Airbnb, we have
You know?
14 people we invited here to stay overnight.
Yeah.
12, I'm sorry, we have 12 camp spots.
Yeah,
In our
so-
lease, so.
Airbnbs is not a deterrent to family life or community life.
I have an uncle who's lives in Packwood.
Half of it
and
is different.
The entire street that he used to live, that he lives on, he's the only one. That's lives
Packwood
there.
has created a tourist town,
That's-
yeah.
Like everyone else, it's Airbnbs. So I just fear that when the old timers start to kick off, that we're inviting,
Let's
that-
get this on, let's get this on an agenda.
Anyway,
Actual item.
I just,
Yeah,
I want people to be thinking about this
We circumvent.
and stir the pot, so there we go.
Go ahead.
I just have a quick thing. When you guys decide on your Airbnb, whatever happens, please make sure that you do have the people on their property that they have to be there. Because an incident that I do know, and I'm not gonna tell you the place, is that these people would be renting that house or whatever, but as soon as the summertime came, January, February, March, April, they kick them out so they can have the Airbnb people there because they bring in more income. And I would really hate to see that if there was some renters around here that have been longtime renters and they've been doing what they're supposed to be doing, and all of a sudden they're getting kicked out because the owners think, oh, I can make a heck of a lot more money if I just get rid of them for the 4 or 5, whatever summertime hours. Then when winter times come, then they're allowed to go back into a house, but then now you have that other problem.
As fantastic as that sounds, there's this thing called the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
Right.
Which really strongly makes me not want to tell people not what to do with their house. I mean, that's like one step away from rent control. So, sorry, we should talk about it, but definitely, yeah.
can council have put on the agenda
Apparently we need an agenda item.
as an agenda item to discuss this?
Sure,
You need to.
Or just table it to future use.
I think we should talk about it.
We'll table and it's talking about it also.
We
Put that at a later date.
We have other tabled items too that we should also talk about, yeah?
Well, where are they?
I don't know, they're in the ether.
I think we should table it to another meeting
Yes.
so that we have time to prepare. for it.
Yes, thank you. And we actually have a gentleman here ready to speak. So-
Yes, we do. Go ahead.
It's not a major problem, but it has to do with one-way freedom 6. The signing is such that people that attend the ball games at the school they come out of the parking lot, and there's nothing to indicate that it's a one-way street. They have come in maybe on Augusta and come down. Didn't see the sign saying it's one way. And, but when they come out of the school, they turn to the left rather than the right. And going adverse to the traffic, it's not a problem, but it happens and.
So we need Ronway signs at
Well,
the
need a-
exits.
Need a,
Or a left turn, right turn.
Here's our public works guy right there.
So, yeah, you're right, that's one thing that probably got overlooked, because you wouldn't think coming out of a parking lot, you would need the sign there, but if they did come off of Augustus, they might not have saw that. What I can do is I can put a one-way sign on the other side from that exit. And then that will shoot them down the right way.
maybe a one-way sign as they come out from the school.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
But also the sign.
Well, we need to reflag them. They were flagged.
We talked about
Right
that,
here,
we
but-
talked about that before, they've been stealing our flags there are signs there that say one way, but the flags have been gone. For quite a while, stolen, because they're stealing quite often. We're trying to put those flags out there so people can see the flags, then they can see the one ways.
Well, it's not working because people go up and they do not see those one-way signs. We
You
live
have
on
Gorilla Glue?
Washington 6.
Okay.
And we see a lot of people come in and
They turn the wrong way.
remind them. They one way.
There's a warning sign that says do not turn right. Halfway down the street, and then there's a one-way pointing the other way at the stop sign. So those need to be reflagged again,
Okay,
so that we can.
we'll reflag them and put up the wrong way sign.
Like I say.
But I've come out of the bank and they've come down the bank street the wrong way. People can't read, I guess. I don't know. There's signs all over there.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a combination of things. I think, Mike said is right and Mara said is right. You doing your part, let people know. I'll try to be out there a little bit more. But at the same time, whoever's announcing at the ballpark game can let everybody know. They could say something to the crowd. This is a one-way street. When you go out, please go to the right. Because a lot of the people that are doing this are they're coming in to play baseball from other towns and they don't know.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's.
it's just something we're gonna have to all work together as a team and do the best we can.
It doesn't seem to be a major problem, but it could be a. problem for someone.
It's just something
Or
that
the
looks
police
like
happen to be there and.
that you pull out of the parking lot.
Well, a lot of bad publicity because.
So,
We'll try to fix it.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing.
bringing that up.
Thank you.
Okay, then I get to my point, or to my problem.
Okay,
Up until the first of the year, we had auto pay for our utilities.
mhm,
And after the change of personnel was one. Two billing times later. I now that it is no longer in effect.
I think Doxo will do auto
So I
pay.
gotta,
Doxo is new auto pay, he doesn't wanna use Doxo.
when I come in to renew the auto pay, I'm going, well, I have to have internet. In order to get auto pay. I can't understand why, and I haven't been able to get an understanding or explanation of why. So I'd like to know why the auto pay was stopped. Everyone else seems to have accepted. But, I would like.
I think
to
we
know
should
why
be able to find a way.
have internet in order to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it was canceled. Jill canceled it before she left. It just wasn't something that we restarted. I believe we were paying a fee through Timberline for that. If you go down to your bank, they might be able to set up an automatic payment in your account. So that way you don't need the internet, or we can help you set up Doxo, which I've explained, we just don't have the ability right now. It's not we don't have the ability, but it's just not something that we're offering anymore,
Why,
because we switched over to Doxo.
why would we require them for internet? In order to pay that bill?
You don't need to have internet, you just have to be able to sign up through either a phone or a computer or something like that.
How about signing up in person in the office?
Right, and we explained we can help you sign up through Doxo, it's not something that is automatic through your bank anymore, but if you go down to your bank. They can help set up where they will send a check to us every month for you, they can set up automatic payment for you. It's just not something that the city is doing, where we're taking voided checks anymore and debiting accounts anymore.
Well, the 2 or 3 times I've been into the office. To find out, try to figure this out and pay my bill. Every time I've been told that I have to have internet.
No, we told you that you have to be able to log in, you have to be able to create an account.
Well, I can bring my debit card in and pay the account.
You can do that, if you bring your debit card down here, we can take your card here. The system that we use, it charges a 2.9% fee, and that's what we are explaining, so you can either send a check. You can pay in cash, we can take a credit card here, or you can sign up for Doxo, and in order to sign up to Doxo, there does have to be internet connection.
Great, Rach, how much?
But I was just wondering why the requirement for what internet had to do with paying the bill.
That service, the service that we're now using ended up being more helpful to more people. And the other one had been shut down previously.
Rach, what's a credit card cost?
It's 2.9%,
What is the cost? What is that in dollars and cents?
depends on how much his bill is, I don't know,
Just give me a ballpark.
$8 to $12.
They're saving you $8 to $12 by not using your credit card.
Well, it's not a credit card.
Well, it's a debit
But it
card.
gets treated as a credit card by the bank,
Right.
It gets treated as a credit card.
We're trying
I know
to,
that's no good,
No, it's an automatic
but
withdrawal from the
right,
from the account.
but they're gonna charge you for it through the system. We're trying to save you that $8 to $12. If we can save you that money, we're trying our darndest to save you that money by just coming in there, let her fix it.
I'll get him set up, yeah.
Internet, why the internet?
Don't worry about the internet, just block the internet out. You don't have to do the internet, is that correct?
He doesn't have an email address, has been the problem the last couple times that he's come in. And so we can't set up an email address for him.
So how do we
Can
fix
you
the
not set
problem?
up Doxo so that it doesn't have to be, send you a thing every?
Well, he's gotta be able to log in. He can go down to his bank, like how you can set up, you can pay your bills on your mobile app, on online banking. He obviously doesn't have online banking, but he should be able to go down to his bank.
Yeah.
And they should be able to help him set up online banking. He can take his bill down there. They should be able to set it up for him.
So he needs personalized service. He needs one of you to help him.
Do you have?
We can't
are you-
create an-
are you-
Maybe.
Oh, sorry, is Timberland your bank?
Yes.
Then Timberland should be able to set that up.
Like, we go to private and like.
Do you have a smartphone?
No,
Pardon?
You
No,
have a smartphone?
Okay, that's rotary.
Cindy, flip phone for travel. So that if I have a problem, I'm breaking down, I can
He's old school.
call. That's the only-
Are you available tomorrow to go down to the bank?
I'm retired, I've been retired for 40 years.
Lucky you.
Then you're really, Cindy,
I will be happy to. go
she will come down and help you tomorrow at the bank.
I would be happy to go.
She will come down and help you at the bank tomorrow. How's that?
Right here, this beautiful lady here.
Okay,
Give her a time when you wanna meet.
pardon?
Give her time that you wanna meet at the bank. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. What do you want? Get a date with her.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. You got it.
If I can just be sure to remember that.
Okay,
we can send you an email.
that's okay.
This is my council meeting.
I'm just a young guy, I've been retired for 8. I've been retired for 8, so I'm trying to catch up to you.
We have one thing else we're supposed
Yeah.
to talk about.
Okay, anything else going on?
Oh, wait, didn't we have that one thing else that we were supposed to talk about?
We have.
What?
Camping,
Camping what?
camping in the park?
Camping for a resident to live there? No, that's what we were talking about. Somebody moving in there. The chief had somebody, correct?
No,
No.
I got an email, right, that stated we're supposed to talk about that today. Okay, well, no, never mind, then I'm done.
We have another person in the audience who.
Well, it has nothing to do with planning commission, so I thought I'd save it for the end, but,
Sir,
the issue with,
There's the bill.
Washington State Department of Transportation, I've been in contact with Manning, who is
Thank you.
our contact there.
I was just gonna get a pen.
And as you know, because I reported to you last time that they left the parking configurations in place to see what would happen with these signs in the middle. Actually, the state has both of those signs. One was damaged, one was under warranty, so they will be coming back. And we're stolen or not good. But many wanted me to be aware of the fact that they received 2 emails from one individual demanding that those center line pedestrian signs be removed. And wanting to set up a meeting with the city and this person, who shall be unnamed right now. I pretty much told Mandy that I think it would probably be pretty unanimous to that that's not gonna happen. And the city is okay with the way the signs are out. So I'm bringing it to you, and if I'm wrong, let me know. Yes,
I find they're too close to the intersection.
So you slow down.
I'm at a stop and I'm trying to get out on the bridge and watch traffic to see that I don't get hit. And I'm cut off by that sign.
Wait, you're turning right onto the bridge.
I am turning left to come to council. And the bridge traffic I have to watch, and the sign is right there. And so I have to clear the sign and not get hit by traffic.
yeah.
See, I like those signs. I don't like the Betty's one. I think the Betty's one could go, but the downtown ones I like because it kind of slows traffic down. But the uptown one and the middle one.
I couldn't be going any slower than coming from a stop.
Go backwards. But like, yeah, yes.
from a perspective of the market,
Mm.
since those prices went up, I don't have my customers going, oh my God, I almost got run down in the intersection because of people blowing through the bridge or blowing through town. And I have read everything on Facebook, everybody just wants to whine about stuff, just whining about things. The whole point of putting those up is to get people to slow down going through town. We've heard nothing, Chief has talked constantly since he got here about the way people speed through town and everything else. I was involved with getting those signs put up. I contacted Ed, our representative, like, please do something. And after the state flat out saying, we're not putting up a stoplight, we're not. And the city doesn't have the money to spend the $50,000 a piece for those really cool little flashing pedestrian ones. This is the most logical choice that we can come up with that makes sense. I think, based on what other studies I've done, it takes about 3 months for people to get used to where speed limits change, where intersections change. It doesn't happen overnight. But the one thing, as I say, that I am seeing is that I don't have people coming in talking about, I almost got run down in the intersection. And with the bridge traffic, they're gonna have to get used to, that's no longer their launching pad to see how fast it can be going coming over the bridge. So I guess all I would say is, aside from the fact I really appreciate their function and their being there, it's just gonna take some time for people to get used to it. Other than that, nothing's gonna happen overnight. It took us 7 months to get things put up. Having them there seems to be quite beneficial so far.
We did get the automatic flashing ones, but that was just a trial basis and it didn't last very long, but I don't know if that even helped or not. did
Well,
it?
it's happened a great deal, but I think Emily does have a good point. The one by Betty's needs to come back a little bit more. Cause I've actually watched trucks turn and they barely make it.
Oh, from Toledo Vader.
Yeah,
Just big trucks, semis,
From-
you know,
from-
I'm not saying remove it, I'm saying move it back a little bit so they can make the corner.
Okay.
There,
Exactly
and that's the one
what
up
I
there.
said.
Right.
But I've actually put cones out, you know, to try to protect it, and I leave and I come back and the cones are gone. So somebody's moving the cones. Somebody's getting out of their vehicle and physically walking up there and taking those cones and putting them off the side of the road. And I don't know who's doing that, but I'd appreciate it if they'd stop doing it. Because that's why the cones are there, so you don't run that over and damage that, and then it's gonna cost the city more money.
it's gonna have to be moved, chief. I agree.
Yeah,
And
just move it back.
Because coming from Toledo,
Now,
Vader Road,
I'm just-
they can't make that turn.
Just move it back a little
I'd be
bit.
happy to respond to him with that message.
Yeah, and then put the thing back
Well,
up, and I think
yeah,
your point is great,
I mean,
that
if
it does
you-
slow traffic down, and what we're looking at is. We're looking at preventing a horrible accident.
Yes.
And I think all of us would feel just horrible if some elderly person or a child is walking in the crosswalk and gets smacked. Because some idiot's flying through Toledo like they do. I mean, it's ridiculous. We had a guy go through on Tuesday's night at 60 miles an hour through Toledo. He was caught on the radar sign. 60 miles, you know what I set it up on Tuesday's night. And I wasn't around and he went through not once, but twice, 60 miles an hour and up and around. That's ridiculous.
Follow-up question, did you think those signs that the state put up helped, or were they in the wrong place?
They're in the
They
wrong,
help except for the one by Betty's that needs to come back this way.
It needs to be like moved
Well,
back.
that's- we're only here for 3 or 4 days.
the one-
Going by the bridge.
You mean the speed limit signs?
Down the street of the.
I'm talking about the ones that
The
say
yard
their
speed?
speed.
Oh, yeah, that definitely helps.
The-
Oh, absolutely.
The ones that state. put up for Tuesday.
Anything you put up.
Those would be great.
but Steve,
That shows
Those
people
are
what.
$5,800 a piece.
Oh, that's
okay, the one sign they put up,
That's it.
the one sign they put up by the gas station on the 25 should have been moved to the 25 speed limit on the hill.
Well, I don't doubt that at all.
Because that's where the speed was coming from off the hill,
But it would be the city that would buy them and install them where the city wanted to.
okay?
And the county and the state won't mind if we do that?
The state said they would give us their assistance in making sure that it's done properly,
Of
but
course,
we're talking about putting a pole in the ground. Is all we're talking about.
not really, you can use the existing pole that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helped, all that.
That's what they used, they used our 25,
Sign, the battery backup and everything like that was $5,800.
that's a good investment.
So I mean, if we adopt REIT 2, I mean, there's an easy place to put money.
Okay.
Yeah, that sign by Betty's with the stop, I guess I just wasn't expecting there to be stop right
I
there.
wasn't expecting there to be that there anyway. I was looking for downtown at Ramsey.
Yeah, me too. It's very disconcerting and so many people just pump their brakes and, you know.
Well, anybody comes, any truck that comes from Vader to Toledo is gonna wipe that out. It's gotta be moved back towards Fifth Street, it's gotta be moved,
Just move it back this way a little more.
it's gotta be moved, but that's
Council
it.
member's gonna take the one out on the bridge.
Okay, is that all? Any other comments? Joe, not,
I have a proposal from the council members after the meeting is adjourned.
after the meeting is adjourned,
We can't actually continue to meet, that would be it.
that'd be illegal. So you need to ask it now.
It'll be the same proposal.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Do I hear a second? Do I hear a second?
So we're not gonna talk about the water system plan?
It's not on the
It's
agenda.
not on the agenda.
Why did you
Just
get
an
it?
informational packet.
Okay, okay.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's like- I'll second that motion.
It's been moved to second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
People need to get stuff up. All that, if you want stuff.
Okay, what's plan number 4? Dan, he's our president.